Quazi here. In today's video, I want to share with you how you can get out of this chasing mode, this needing mode, and how to actually become attractive so you truly attract the things that you want in your life. If you notice, the most successful people in the world, they have this magnetic state of presence where they don't have to chase after the things that they want, but they know how to stay grounded in their state of being and naturally become a magnet for all of the things that they want in their lives. For a lot of you, when I've been speaking to my clients especially, I find that there is this chasing, needing energy. And the more you get into being needy, the more life will withdraw the thing that you want. So in today's video, I want to real quick get down into two main things that will allow you to step into that state of being, that true presence where you can ground yourself and feel good enough. And from this place of feeling good enough, naturally attract all of the things that you've ever wanted anyways. Okay, so stick around till the end of this video. I'm super excited to share with you how to first step into feminine energy, and second, how to lower your importance levels, lower your neediness levels, so you immediately become magnetic for all of the things that you want. So with that, let's get started. So this topic was inspired by one of my clients that I was speaking to when he was telling me how there was a time in his life when he felt this state of flow, this state of ease, when everything was happening. You know, he felt artistic, he felt this creative expression. His business was doing very well too. And you know, overall he was successful in life. And when he told me that, I could immediately see that the state of being that he was in a place of power, right? He felt powerful, he felt magnetic, right? You know that time in your life where you experience this state of flow and everything is falling into place. But maybe after that, something happens and you hold on to something, a false idea or an emotional baggage that takes you from that place of power and makes you more protective, more closed off, feeling like the world is out to get you. You feel this state of scarcity, that there is never enough, and you've just been beat down by life. You know, you're living in the past. You're basically living in all of the horrendous, the undesirable situations that have happened. And this is the number one reason why business owners who have experienced success in the past, or maybe even traders who've made tons of profits in the past, they've given away those profits. And that trauma of losing something, they hold on to it. It makes them go back into survival. So the key in this video is going to show you how to break free from that, how to get out of that traumatic state that you were in, and how to get back into that position of power. And it all has to do, number one, with understanding energy dynamics, okay? Feminine versus masculine energy. So society overall keeps us stuck in this place of always looking for the next thing to have, right? So we're stuck predominantly in this having paradigm. So in this having paradigm, we're focused on what we can take. What can I take? What can I get that will elevate my status? Right? So if you think about all of the things that you want in your life, why do you want it? Get down to the root of why you want it. Typically, the root of why you want money, why you want success, why you want the relationship, why you want the health, even the fitness, the body, the looks, whatever it is, it's, for most people, especially people in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, even 50s, right? It's to elevate this sense of status. That's one of our core drivers. We want to feel fundamentally that we're good enough. And the only way we can feel good enough is when we prove to ourselves, after accumulating a certain amount of money or success or prestige, look, I've achieved it, I'm good enough. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that. However, the only thing that will be detrimental to you is when you keep staying stuck in this place of having. That's why you won't be able to manifest that. So a level above that, that gives you more power, is that state of doing. Okay, so you get into this doing mode. You become a doer. So this is very masculine. This place of doing, hustling, grinding, forcing things to happen. So this is a place of taking action, becoming a go-getter, forcing things to happen when they're not happening. These states of being, this go-getter, force things to happen, take action, these keep us stuck in doing. Now, doing is important. I'm not saying do not take action, okay? There's a lot of people who don't take action, who just sit around waiting for things to happen. Do not do that, okay? There's a balance to this. So you go from having to doing, you already have a lot more energy. Okay, you have a lot higher energy to work with. So it's kind of like going from a state of apathy to going to a state of anger, right? When you go from apathy to anger, you already have more energy, because in anger you can be driven, you can be moved to do things. However, a lot of people who are in this doing state, they are kind of stuck in this state of fear, this state of anger, this state of pride, because in these emotional states, the pendulums of society, the elite, if you will, they can control us and make us do what they want us. They basically hijack our state of consciousness, okay? So this doing state is highly, highly masculine. If you stay too much in doing, what happens is you kind of sell your soul to get something, right? You become hell-bent on getting the outcome, and you will do anything possible, necessary to get it. And what you'll notice is you'll feel burnt out. You'll feel like the joy of life has been taken from you. There is no more joy left. It's just becoming mechanical. You know, it's kind of like if you were to, let's say you're doing sales, right? And you're given a sales script, and all you had to do is read the sales script, and the sales script is perfect. And then you just speak to your prospects and you just read the sales script and you close the deals, right? And you just keep doing it. You just keep making a ton of money, just doing it again and again, month after month, year after year. And for years and years, you keep doing it, thousands and thousands of sales calls you keep taking, and you keep closing deals, and you're perfect. You're making millions of dollars, right? It's great. But you wouldn't be happy doing that, right? Because there isn't this chaos, because human beings have this need for uncertainty. There isn't a challenge anymore, because it's just mechanical. It's just you reading it. And I can tell you, there was a period when I was making YouTube videos, I would script out my videos beforehand, right? And I would just read the script. And I was reading the script, making videos, and I was getting hundreds of thousands of views. There was a period when I was just, every single video I was making was getting like 300, 400, 500,000 views. And it was heavily scripted. But what I noticed was, even though I was getting views, I didn't feel passionate, I didn't feel energized, it didn't feel good. Like, it's not all about the views, right? But now that I'm in this flow, and it's kind of like a full circle. I used to make videos more intuitively, more in the moment. But now I'm back to it, full circle moment. I'm back to this old way where I'm more intuitive and I share stuff that's coming up in daily life. I feel more energized and more passionate to share these videos with you, as opposed to just reading off of a script, right? It's more human. I can connect with you guys more. So that's the thing with this doing, is you do it enough, you're going to get burnt out, because you're going to lose your passion in the way. What brings the passion back? What brings the heart back? This is where the state of being comes in, which is the feminine energy. Okay? So a lot of people, they never get to this state of the feminine energy, to connecting with that state of being. So, for example, if you want to make a lot of money and become maybe a successful trader, right? You go out and take action, you do strategies, but then you find that for some reason, maybe you're doing strategies, you're not getting results, or you do get results, but then maybe you sabotage your results, right? You make profits one month, next month you give it away, you have this boom and bust cycle, whatever it is, like you're experiencing some kind of cycle. And you just keep searching for the next strategy. Well, that's kind of like having a broken bone and trying to patch it up with a Band-Aid or a cast, right? Instead of actually getting the surgery to solve it. So what the state of being is you focusing on, hey, if I were this successful trader and investor, who would I be? How would I act? I'm assuming the state of being first and then acting from that place. This is when you get in touch with that feminine energy, right? That place of pure being, the place of pure power. So if you notice, we have thoughts and we have feelings, right? The conscious mind is the gateway to the unconscious. We can't access the unconscious until the conscious mind has been disarmed. So if you look at different faculties like hypnosis, right? What they do is they disarm the conscious mind and get someone to fall unconscious. And so the identity shifting work we do with our clients involves disarming the conscious mind and getting to this feminine, that state, that unconscious, right? Because 97% of our reality is controlled by the unconscious. The conscious faculties, the doing, is only 3%. Okay? The conscious mind can only process, they say, 7 bits of information. So you can't make your heart beat with your conscious mind. It's the unconscious that's doing that. Your breathing, your organs, everything. Thousands and thousands of different processes are happening because of the unconscious mind. Imagine what you could do if you could use the power of your unconscious to create the reality you wanted. That is when you access a power known as outer intention, the intention that both belongs to you and doesn't belong to you at the same time. It's the God intention, the worldly intention, whatever you want to call it. So when you're in this state of being, you go from forcing, becoming a go-getter, to allowing, accepting, and flowing. So the keys I want you to take away from this, there's two main keys to accessing this being state. When you want to enter the being state, the very first thing you need to do is Aikido. If you look up Aikido, it's an ancient Japanese form of martial arts where you flow with the punches. You flow with the momentum of your opponent's punches. Instead of exerting energy and trying to force your way, brute force your way through something, you flow with it. You take the energy of it and then you redirect it. Okay? So anytime in your life something isn't going the way that you want, instead of getting back into this fight mode, like I'm fighting, I'm battling, flow with it. Accept that scenario. Okay? You accept that scenario. You accept it and you choose what is wanted in the next moment. So this Aikido principle is also something we like to call accept and redirect. Okay? So you don't try to control reality, you direct reality. So let's say you wanted to close a deal in your business and it didn't close, or you didn't get the outcome that you wanted. You simply ask, how could this be an advantage? Which takes me to the second part. Looking for advantage. What could be the benefit in this? Okay, this didn't close. Like a lot of the times, sometimes I would expect a client to join, but then they wouldn't, right? And then in the past, I would get really, really frustrated, be like, oh, I spent so much time. Now I'm focusing on all the negatives, on all the things that I lost, which is getting me into a negative state of being, right? I'm going into a negative state of being. So I'm focusing on all of the things that I've lost. I spent so much time with this person. I've spoken to this person, I've really understood their situation, etc. And they still chose not to work with me and they picked someone else maybe, right? Which would hurt me in the past. But then I realized when I would get into that state, the following month, I would be in a negative state, or the following calls, I would still be in that negative state. I would still carry that. But then when I changed that to, hey, how could this potentially be a benefit? How could this potentially be an advantage? Well, this person probably would have been a bad fit client anyways. Maybe God or the universe is helping me clear out these bad fits so that I can have more better fit clients. For how is this limited mind to know what greater plans God has in store, the universe has in store for us, right? So I want you to think like that. Anytime something happens that you didn't want to happen, flow with it. Accept it fully. You stay grounded in that feminine, that state of allowing and accepting when you do that. Next, ask, how could this potentially be an advantage? How could this potentially be a benefit to me? Find 1 to 3 reasons. Even if you can find one reason, that is good enough. You find one reason, it will compound from there. Because reality is like a mirror. It reflects your relationship to it. If your attitude is somehow this is an advantage to me, the mirror of reality will say, oh, you think this is an advantage? Okay, this is definitely an advantage to you. And then it becomes an advantage, right? So this is one of the most important parts of getting to that feminine energy. You just have to understand, when you feel into your body, do you feel force right now? Do you feel like you want to fight? Or do you feel like I can accept this? I don't know how this is going to benefit me. I'm not going to fight it. I'll fully accept it and choose what is wanted in the next moment. Instead of trying to change this current moment, choose what is wanted in the next moment. So this takes me to the next part of allowing you to get to becoming more and more magnetic, which is dissolving this internal resistance that you have. Because this internal resistance that you have is your old self. It keeps you stuck in that fight or flight mode, this excessive doing mode. Now, guys, before I move on to this, I do want you to remember, doing is important. You have to take action, but it is the place that the action is coming from. Is it coming from a negative, needy state of being, or is it coming from a positive, I'm already abundant state of being? Like, to give you an example of this, when I changed my style of making videos, my views started tanking. It's no surprise. My views started going down. People started to point it out, like, oh, what's going on? I'm just not making videos that I don't want to make. Just because I was in this needy state of like views, I don't give a shit. Because now we're actually attracting the kind of clients that I want to work with, right? Not just random people who are like slightly interested in this. No, chances are most of you who are watching this, you're super committed. You're probably business owners, or you're interested in becoming a business owner. You're super committed to making a transformation in your life. I just want the right people, even if it's a few thousand, to watch my videos, right? And I can't tell you how much better I feel now than when I was reading those scripted videos from a teleprompter, and it just, but the thing is, I don't regret it. I had to go through that phase to understand and arrive here, right? It's that full circle moment. So you have to take action, but you have to understand that the place of being, the state of being the action comes from is the most important part. So you have to first focus on getting to the right state of being. I spoke with a client a couple days ago, and he was asking me for advice like, hey, do you think I should work with you in your program first and solve my mindset problems, or should I just try the trading strategy that I wanted to try? Because he was exploring, he's passionate about trading, but he had tried different business strategies in the past before, right? But they hadn't succeeded. And what I noticed was he definitely had a money block, right? A block with money. And what we noticed with our clients is there are clients who try many different trading strategies, right? They jump from one strategy to another and they can't make it work. And then when we work together and shift them at the identity level to viewing themselves, being in the state of being of a successful trader, that's when the strategy that they had that they thought was mediocre, all of a sudden starts working for them. Like our client Noor, he went from, for 8 months sabotaging himself, to making 40 to 60K a month trading. He started doing that February of this year, and now he's consistently doing 40 to 60K a month in trading profits. He's trading with prop firms, he trades futures, right? This was all because he started viewing himself as a successful trader, right? He's changed his identity. He came from this state of being of I'm a successful trader, and he could stay in that state of being. So I advised him like, hey, you could try the trading strategies, but it's like the Band-Aid. You can put on a Band-Aid, chances are you're gonna have to try many different strategies until you finally arrive at the realization that, hey, it's not the strategy that was ever the problem. It was the person behind the strategy. Right? It's not the tool that was the problem, it's the person using it. They're not in that right state of being to learn how to use the tool properly. It's kind of like giving a monkey a hammer, it wouldn't know what to do with it. But if you give a super intelligent person a paperclip, they could probably make a supercomputer out of it, right? So let's get to the next part, learning to manage your internal resistance or your importance levels. Okay, so in this next part, we're going to be talking about lowering your importance. This is going to be one of the most powerful things you've ever seen, because we're going to use quantum physics to explain how your importance level, when you attach too much meaning to something, how it actually prevents you from achieving it. Before I get to that, I wanted to announce you can access our Identity Shifting Bootcamp, a 5-video series that's changed the lives of people who've just been watching the channel. It's completely free to access. You can also access our exclusive email list. Accessing that, in fact, will give you access to our email list. All you need to do is go to realitycreator.com/list. And upon joining our list, you're going to get the Identity Shifting Bootcamp and weekly bonuses that we share with our clients. And I can't really share on YouTube because of the platform's limitations. So go to realitycreator.com/list. Let us resume with our regular programming. So lowering importance. What is it? Here's a cute little diagram of you in front of a mirror. Reality behaves like a mirror. Okay, it is very neutral. It reflects what you show it. So your internal world is being reflected out into your external world. So to give you an example of this, when you become needy, what happens? When you become needy, right, the mirror of reality withdraws. You need something, reality will withdraw it. That's what's being reflected. When you give, reality gives back to you. Okay? When you give without the expectation of need, reality gives back to you. A great example of this I can give you is my channel. When I started, I wanted to make money, right? I wanted to know how to get financial freedom. That's what I wanted to get. I asked, what can I give so the mirror reflects giving? And so I started making these videos for free. Nothing in return, nothing I expected in return. I just wanted to give away as much as I could. To my surprise, people started using free stuff, got great results. Like earlier this morning, someone mentioned they made 100K just watching my free videos. Right? It's like right in the comments. But people were getting results with the free stuff. They were curious, what would the paid stuff give me? And then they were getting crazy results with the paid stuff, right? So that's what I started to do. I simply asked, what can I give in order to get? But I didn't think about in order to get. I thought about, initially, I wanted to get this. Okay, what can I give without the expectation of trying to get? Because even if you have the expectation of trying to get, what happens? in that moment, you are thinking about like, oh, if I say this right word, will I get it? If I say that right word, then will I get sales? You're trying to manipulate an outcome instead of being free and being you and being intuitive, right? So because of that, the art gets tainted because you're trying to manipulate an outcome. And so your internal attitude, you can't lie to reality. You can't lie to the mirror of reality. If you're giving something in order to get, you're still trying to get. And so when you're trying to get and you become needy, reality pulls away, right? So first figure out what you want and then figure out, what can I give? What can I give? What can I give freely without the expectation of getting? Another time this will probably help you is even in sales conversations. When you're speaking to a prospect, they can feel when you're being needy. They can smell the commission breath, right? So when you become I love that. It's a sales term. I don't know if you guys have heard it, commission breath. It's just like, what does commission breath smell like? Is it halitosis? Anyway, when you're trying to get a sale, when you actually stop trying to get an outcome, you stop trying to take, you stop trying to get the sale, and you shift your focus from trying to get the sale to, let me give as much as I can to this person. And when you come from that genuine place of caring and serving this person, what happens? You already set yourself apart from 99% of salespeople who are just trying to get, right? So they feel this genuineness in you because you genuinely within yourself, you feel so good, you become a bundle of joy to be around. You become a walking bundle of joy to be around. And people can sense that. It's like, oh my God, this guy just gave me freely without any kind of expectation. I actually feel like I owe this guy something. Make people feel that they owe you something. You give so much, right, without any expectation of receiving, that people literally feel like they owe you something. That's honestly the best place to be. Like, I want people to feel like they owe me something because I'm just giving so much away for free without anything in return. And then when they beg you, like, hey, how can I give you? What can we do? How can we work together? Then you explain your offer, how it works, right? That's always been our strategy. It's like, hey, just going to give you everything. I want you to get results before you even begin working with me. Just watch my free stuff, get results. When you're ready to take things to the next level, we can speak, we can have a conversation about your goals, and we can talk about working together, right? So, anytime in your life you feel needy, what's happening? You're withdrawing. You're in this taking mode, reality also withdraws from you. When you open yourself up and you get into this feminine energy of abundance, that place of abundance, you open your arms up, right? You allow and you accept. Reality reflects by opening its arms too and giving to you freely, okay? So if you've noticed a time in your life when you've been expecting a deal to close, or you've been expecting to get something, a check money or whatever, or a text from someone, the more you needed it, the more you kept checking, what did you keep doing? The more you resisted it, the more it didn't come. But the moment you looked away and you forgot about it completely, all of a sudden it showed up. Why? Because of this phenomenon. Because your importance level is low. Okay? So now let's explain with quantum physics how importance level works. So if I were to explain importance level, if something becomes a little more important than other things in your life, my business is more important than my family and my health and other areas of my life, it becomes a little too important. Reality has a field. Okay, there's a field of reality. Where am I going to draw this? Okay, let's draw this here. So let's say you have fields, right? Now, when you have too much importance, the field gets too concentrated in one area. Okay, it gets too concentrated over here. When it's too concentrated, reality wants to come in and establish balance. Why? Because the universe is a perfectly balanced system. It's a perfectly balanced system. Anytime you create a disturbance, it raises potential. So the way I could describe this to you is excess potential. Okay, so when I put this chalk up here, it gains gravitational potential energy. High school physics, you probably learned this. It gains gravitational potential energy. The higher I raise it, the more gravitational potential energy it gains. When I drop it, that gravitational potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy. And when it hits the ground, it shatters because that kinetic energy is converted into that impact, right? So then it distorts the molecules in this chalk and then it splits it up into pieces because of the energy of the kinetic energy it gains before impact. Okay? So, energy is being converted from one form to the other. It's the law of energy. Energy can't be created or destroyed, it can just be moved from one form to another. When you have importance, create too much importance, disturb the field lines, you create this excess potential. You create a potential in the field, which then gets converted to balanced forces coming in to try and balance out that potential. Now, how does it balance out that potential? Typically, if I've been wanting something, it takes me further and further away from that thing, right? Reality actually wants to give you the goal that you want. You're the one who creates resistance. That's the truth, right? Because it's easier for reality to give you your goal than to withdraw it from you. Just think about it. The only way it withdraws it from you is when your importance level is just too high. Because you're exerting energy. And then it exerts energy back as a mirror, right? It mirrors your level of heightened importance with excess potential. And then that excess potential keeps getting converted to balanced forces to balance out this field until you forget about that goal, right? Until you give up trying to pursue that goal. And what happens when you give up? All of a sudden it shows up, right? When you completely give up maybe trying to get the outcome, you try to give up making that revenue in your business or the money that you want, all of a sudden it shows up for you. All of a sudden you hit that revenue record, okay? So all of these good things in life happen when you get to a place of lowered importance. The higher your importance, the more you're fighting against life, the more you're creating an imbalance in the field, the more you're stuck in this masculine energy of do, force, force, force. So, how do you lower importance? 3 main ways to lower importance. The very first thing is to become okay with failure. Now, a lot of you are going to hate me for saying this because you've probably been taught, never accept failure. Never accept anything apart from success. When I say accept failure, accept the possibility of failure in the first place. I was watching this interview with Jeff Bezos. Maybe a lot of you guys hate Jeff Bezos, I don't know, but he's successful, right? And he was saying how Amazon was created as a failure chamber, right? There are billions of dollars in experiments that he'd done that just failed, completely failed. For the 3 or 4 things that Amazon succeeded in, there was 30 things that they failed at. So he said there's 1 out of 10 things, 1 out of 10 ideas and experiments they tried that were a massive success. So Amazon was built on the back of failure, right? And so he encourages failure, he encourages experimentation. And he said, the faster you fail, the quicker you're going to succeed. Because failure is what? It's feedback. Most people are afraid of failure. Poor people are terrified of failure. Rich people use failure, right? Poor people are terrified of debt. Rich people use debt. The system is completely manipulated, right? They know things we don't. They know things, the elite know things and how to manipulate reality to get what they want because we're terrified of those things, right? Poor people think everything is a scam. Rich people take those opportunities and become successful. That's really it. It's like I'm not saying you're poor, but I'm just saying like, we're not elite, right? We're not at that elite level. Like even me making 7 figures, it's not quite the elite level, but those principles, you can use them to become wildly successful. And by the elite, I'm talking about the multi-millionaires, 100 millionaires, billionaires. They know how to use laws, taxes, reality to get what they want. It's true. They're not afraid. They don't live in this state of fear. Look at our president. Just for a moment, look at our president. He's a convicted felon. Like, it's insane. Like, anything is possible. Anything is possible, right? So, become okay with failure. Treat everything as practice. I learned this from an old mentor of mine. Anytime you are about to get into an important situation, treat it as practice for the next big thing. This isn't the big thing, it's the next one is the big thing. So for example, our trading clients have found massive success treating their real accounts as a demo account. Because in demo accounts, they can be successful. They take those trades and they make money. No importance. But in a real account, all of a sudden the emotions, they can't control them. The intensity of the emotions are too strong. So I advise them, treat it as practice. This is your demo account. Use this as a demo account. That's it. You execute on your rules and then you make money on your demo account. Everything is practice. Finally, this is the principle that's going to change your life. Lean over the edge without falling off. Lean over the edge without falling off. What does that mean? There is a fine balance of how much importance you have, because if you don't have any importance, that's still an imbalance, because other areas of your life are important, right? So you need the right amount of importance. And that is leaning over the edge without falling off, meaning develop a plan B. If you do end up failing, what will be plan B? When I started this channel and I made the decision to quit my job to go all in on this, I had a plan B. I was staying with my parents. I didn't have to pay rent. I didn't drop out of college. I got my degree. So I did all of those things. I made sure I had a safety net. Because without the safety net, my importance level would be too high. It's kind of like putting all of your eggs in one basket. However, I still took the risk that would put me out of my comfort zone. You see that? I'm not acting from a place of comfort. It is still highly, highly uncomfortable for me to disappoint my parents and take this route, right? And disappoint myself in the eyes of my friends. And, my friends were probably thinking I'm stupid for doing this when they were out getting jobs and getting paid and making money and, rising up the career ladder. But I was doing this silly little YouTube thing in their eyes. So lean over the edge without falling off. Take the appropriate amount of risk. Always act one step ahead of yourself. Always act outside of your comfort zone. If it's not going to kill you, take that uncomfortable risk. If you're actually going to be homeless and you're going to die, don't do it. Don't do something like that. Okay? So, I hope this was helpful. I actually made a 4-video series walking you through how to wake up in reality, how to take a step back from yourself, which I think is the ultimate way to disidentify from all of these importances that you subconsciously hold on to. And the link for that playlist is right here. You can access that right now. So I'll see you in this playlist right now, and I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave me a comment, let me know what you thought of this. And yeah, looking forward to hearing from you. Cheers.